everybody, this is Salvi here with the VTuber news coming right up for you. Before that, of course, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell, and the like button as well, and let's get right into it. A quick reminder, I usually don't do these posts, but it is one of the few times I'm actually a part of anything. Quick reminder that I am going to be a part of Aiden Mixture's Merry Mixmas Caroling concert on the 13th of December, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Alien Mixture's channel. So go and check that out. It will be on Alien Mixture's YouTube channel, I believe on our Twitch channel as well. And I am very, very proud of being part of it. So go and check it out. Ironmouse is a female American VTuber from Puerto Rico, a veteran of the industry. She debuted in 2017. She is a independent VTuber now. She was an independent when she started out, and later she became a part of the founding group of VShojo, the founding VTubers in VShojo, along with Fruit and others. Recently, with the burnt peanut thing, she did mention me cringing to all the people mad at Peanut 1. Every VTuber in that category deserved to be there, and the comments that she made after that are something that we're talking about today, because she decided to apologize, or at least be open about how she felt in regards to the whole situation. Let's talk about it. Let's see what she says here. We're going to, of course, hear a bit of it, and then we're going to talk about it after.
Thing that really bothered me the most about these past few days is something that I did. It's not even like what people say about me. It's what I did. That's why I know a lot of people will be like, no, don't do this. Don't apologize. Don't do this.
Yeah,
it's
people say don't apologize.
Or like people, you don't have to apologize. But for me, as somebody who like, I try to be the type of person where it's like, I want to be as kind as possible to people. And for me, the more I think about it, me saying that I want to be kind to others and I want to try to be as kind as I could to people, the more I think about it, me saying that like people's feelings are cringe is not being very kind. So for me, I just want to apologize for calling other people's sentiment cringe. I feel like the word choice for my tweet was not correct. I feel like I could have expressed my opinions without using that word. I feel like I could have said what I had to say and convey my thoughts without saying that. In the moment when I wrote that, I was very upset because I had seen people writing comments using my name to attack other people. So I was very heated at the moment and I felt really like, ugh. And at the end of the day, it's like, I'm only human, you know, I feel emotions too. I try not to let it get to me, but I don't like seeing my name used to, you know, harass people. Heated gamer moment? I guess so. My heated gamer moment, and I said cringe. I said cringe, you know? And it was what I felt at the time, you know? It was what I felt at the time. It was what I felt at the time. I felt it at the time because I was upset and I was angry, you know? But I, too, can recognize that, like, saying that wasn't very caring. Huge social crime. Well, it wasn't very, like, thoughtful of other people's feelings. It was just something that I tried to do as much as possible. I committed to cringe, you know? But that's the thing that, like, kept me up at night. And it's crazy to me because I kept thinking about it. I was like, man, I feel bad that I said cringe. I truly do feel bad. You know what I mean? And it's like, even though like I felt that in that moment, like I still felt bad. I felt bad. And I kept asking people, like I asked a few people, hey, you know, I don't know, I feel like I gotta talk about this. And how did I feel? I don't know. I just feel bad. I feel bad. I don't ever want to make people's feelings feel any less. Like, I don't want to invalidate anybody's feelings. And that's just the type of person that I am. And I feel like me saying that was it was just like, you know what I mean? I feel bad because I think about everything that I'm trying to say where it's like, I don't want people to like bully other people, whatever. And I don't want people to make other people feel any less than anybody else. But for me, saying that, it's kind of hypocritical for me to say that. And then in turn, say that other people's feelings are cringe. For me.
So yeah, she is being very open. She is being very sweet. Like a lot of people say, you know, you shouldn't apologize for all these things. And yeah, we can make the argument that apologizing or bending the knee or anything like that will never be enough for people who are asking for the apology. This came from her directly wanting to set the record straight that is not the type of person that she wants to portray herself as. That is, I think, a bit different than saying, I'm sorry. This is more of, I portrayed myself the way that I didn't, like me saying, you know, me being Ironmouse, or Ironmouse saying that she portrayed herself the way that she didn't want to portray herself. She put out the energy that she doesn't like putting out. She can understand why she was frustrated. She can understand her frustration with the whole situation, but she also does not want to she wants to make sure that other people do not take that as a way to attack others. Like she mentioned, there are people who are using that to kind of attack others, attack Peanut, attack whatever, and she doesn't want that kind of energy to continue, which is very, very commendable, and I'm glad that Ironmouse was able to put that out there for whoever wanted to listen. And yeah, none of us are really needing to accept the apology or not, but it is very great that she has been able to make that type of apology and let our community know that she's going to be acting a bit different in the future, and we probably aren't going to see her calling people cringe again. XQC is a streamer who has gotten popularity, well, a lot recently. They are also a kick streamer as well. They used to be on Twitch a lot. They started with Overwatch, and, well, we already know what happened recently with the way that they've been acting. XQC and Shroud's previous loss to Doki Bird in a Marvel Rivals tournament has been credited as the reason for why they seem salty about VTubers. Clearly, neither of them has gotten over the absolute humiliating loss, and how now some have kind of pathetic vendetta against VTubing. At least it seems like they do. It says, just a reminder, Ember remembers this, XQC and Shroud were so scared of Doki Bird's Marvel Rivals team they were competing against in the tournament that they whined and beat about it on Twitch, resulting in Twitch actually changing the rules the day of the tournament. This resulted in Doki Bird choosing to drop out so her players wouldn't be forced to do so, and they could compete for prize money. And Doki Bird's team absolutely curb stomped both Shroud and XQC's teams and went on into the tournament, went on to win the tournament. Clearly, neither of them have gotten over that absolutely humiliating loss, and now they have some kind of pathetic vendetta against VTubers. Seriously, guys, grow the F up. It says, damn, talk about losing to someone that I guess was better than you, and then had to whine about the rules change only to still lose the tournament. Maybe it's a skill issue that you can't accept. That's the reason why you didn't win. And the thing that we're talking about them, bad-mouthing VTubers is this. I'm going to go and show XQC's reaction, but let's first talk about the negative things that they have said about VTubing. Let's go here.
It is not my community.
Let's be honest. Most VTubers use VTubing as an excuse not show themselves because they are fucking disgusting. I'm not being weird, I'm not discriminating. The vast majority of VTubers would love to be on camera, but they're fucking disgusting. And that's okay. It's okay. That's perfectly fine. But it's come on, bro. You know what I mean?
40-year-old.
And again, disgusting. Yeah. People really went on him for this type of language that he used. The whole disgusting argument. When this is a Meat Canyon animation, by the way. They did a Meat Canyon. You can look him up. He did an animation on XQC. And, of course, the thing that we're talking about when it comes to the Marvel Rivals thing is here. Back in the day when this happened, let's talk about this here.
It is, guys. We try our best. I don't care what anybody says about anything, okay? If you match up the rating and the time spent in this game, the min-maxing of the rules that they did, we won the fucking game. We won the tournament. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, we won. Good job, guys. I'm proud of you guys. Good job. Yeah. I don't lose gracefully because we're in a system where people always min-max and abuse the system, and I don't give a f. You want me to take a graceful L, build a graceful team, you sucker. Holy shit.
Saying that, because here's one thing that also happened. He claimed that was all a lie. He says the story is pure fiction. Not only did we not whine to anyone, we also lost our team captain because of the rule change. Also, he forgot to tell the part story where Doki's adjusted team was still rule breaking and way overranked like the rest of them. And here we have someone say, so let me get this straight. If I remember, your team consisted in having multi-winner professionals. Yes, they min-maxed as well. They smurfed the team, etc. From different games, including yourself winning Overwatch, a supposed hacker that was aiming and walling, which you never addressed despite the player bragging that he was hacking on your team afterwards in DMs. And on top of all that, your pure fiction story was in fact what we were all reading in Twitch Rivals Discord when you saw a chance of losing. This is Super Gomez, one of the people actually in Doki Bird's team. So this is, is Gomez, one of the people in Doki Bird's team that was in the Marvel Rivals Discord, the Twitch Rivals Discord, the big issue that we have here. So this is someone calling him out on his shit, and specifically who was in there. Well, we had it, and I quote here, a Smash caster that plays fighting games, a female 17-year-old Valorant player with 3 days of experience at the time playing Cloak and Dagger, but seemed sus to you apparently, an Apex player and Overwatch player who meet the criteria for Rivals ranked adjustments, meanwhile you had one of your players playing on an alt account, a GM requirement by the way. So yeah, they were smurfing, at the time being Eternity, which is way higher than the intended adjusted rank requirement. I know this is all engagement farming. but you are way too comfortable to be yapping this much because you think no one has the info to back it up. You also may argue having me and Hogs at the time would be a valid argument, but y'all had pro experience for years compared to our measly short time experience. You old, wrinkly, walking fossils. So there we go. You forgot to mention that you had 2 other Grandmaster players. Also, alt account guy was Moxie. So yeah, people are kind of going the thing. So we broke the rules by following the rules. The new rules were 2 GM players, 2 Eternity Plus players. XQC's team ended up having 3 Eternity Plus players because of one other person being an alt. And this player was not Moxie. So yeah, people try to go against Super Gomez, but Super Gomez has the receipts to prove it. And like you saw there, he is salty as all hell because of what happened there. And people called him out. People called him out with evidence. And I'm here to say, yeah, XQC, if you're going to be talking about this kind of stuff, make sure people don't have receipts against you, because it makes you look really bad. Enya Ignis is a VTuber with Chroma Shift, and she is doing something recently, which is why we're talking about this. Medical debt can't stop me. I'll be having my first ever donut. Medical debt is something that happens a lot in the US, and we're probably one of the few countries that does that. Be having my first ever donathon this weekend. Have lots of great activities and rewards planned, so you better be there. December 12th through 14th, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. CST. So it's going to be 12 hours every single day. He's probably going to have a just sleeping after that type of thing. Wee Woo the Fireball is on the move. Stay tuned for details about Enya's escape from the Canada event. From Canada event, taking place from December 12th through 14th. Of course, I always have to mention this whenever there's a donathon, whenever there's donation things happening. If you are an Enya fan, go ahead and go to her donathon. But Enya, as well as anyone else, whoever does donathons, subathons, etc., always want you to take care of yourself first. I know, I can pretty, if she's like most VTubers, I'm not putting words in her mouth, but if she's like most VTubers that I've seen that do this, they want you to take care of yourself first. If you cannot give, then what you can do is like what I do, is spread the word. I can't give. I don't have money to do any of that kind of stuff, so I spread the word instead. If you can't give, do the same. Spread the word. Take a look at this, requote it, retweet it, whatever, and spread it. You don't have to give. Take care of yourself first. That's the most important thing. Don't take food out of your mouth to give to anybody, anywhere. That is my main message. But of course, if you can and you want to, then go ahead and be a part of the donathon and give. VShojo was a US-based company founded in 2020 by Gunrun. It had a lot of VTubers that you may or may not know. A lot of VTubers that, well, a lot of people know, like Ironmouse, Kson, and others involved there. They were, of course, mistreated in the sense of not treated correctly and given the money that they deserved, all those types of things. And one of them, as I mentioned, was Kson, who is a 2.5D VTuber. She used to be a part of a much larger agency before VShojo. She joined them as part of VShojo JP, and we are talking about them because they went on to their Twitter recently talking about this. Totally get that information leaks are absolutely not okay, and that as a company, you have to crack down on them strictly. But for example, if you find out something is unbelievable is happening inside the company, like with VShojo, and you consult with an external expert about it, would that be called an information leak? I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so. If that's the case, there's no hope, but that can't be true, right? And down here, you have people responding. It says, if the content involves illegal activity, it probably wouldn't constitute a breach of NDA, but if it's in a gray area where it's not clearly illegal, something like it's morally or ethically okay, then it's highly likely to be treated as a contract violation. So in practical terms, it might be quite strict. If your country does have whistleblower protections, though, you could still possibly be under whistleblower protection. It could still fall under that whistleblower protection for the activities that you are trying to talk about, that you're trying to release, that you're trying to have some kind of change happen for everything there. So I think it wouldn't fall under any kind of NDA breach at that point, but it depends on the country as well. Whether it's based on information or whether the person themselves can scrutinize and judge it. I know the case of certain V child who thought it's no big deal and talked about it to family members, but it turned out to be a big deal in the company, especially listed company. They reluctantly got fired. It depends. It depends. It really does. Just to be sure, starting this year, freelancers, sole proprietors should also be covered as protected whistleblowers. They definitely should in most countries. However, the condition is that it must be a report to a legitimate expert or throw administrative agency's window. And it says here, discussing things with your attorney is supposed to be protected under attorney-client privilege, so anything disclosed to them is not a leak unless they leak it to a third party. Some other professions would similarly be confidential, such as medical info. I think that something was clearly a breach of contract. It was an act that completely trampled on the performer's wish for peaceful resolution. They could have hired a lawyer using that shield something, but there's no way performer would want such an ending. Problem more difficult than I imagined. In that case, I think it would amount to whistleblower report for the sake of sound governance. That's the kind of things that I'm talking about here, because it's a breach of contract and embezzlement on the part of management. The fact is, VShojo did embezzle stuff. When you're releasing information based on that, that stops being a NDA breach and starts being a more protective thing for a company, like being protective of the rights of the people affected in the sense of the in this case the charity that was affected. The expert maintains client confidentiality. It's not a leak. I think it depends on the expert, but first and foremost, consulting a lawyer is the best approach. People like I mentioned showing the stuff here. She says, "Thank you everyone for your replies. I get the most that while it may be the rule of society where that won't happen, the side doing the impossible thing is fully eager to turn it into an information leak." And when it comes to information leaks, it's all about the company's side of the story. The company can twist the narrative if they're popular enough to make it into an information leak. There's also the case of a meat processing company called Meat Hope, and while the system protects whistleblowers has been established partly as a result of that, I think the current situation is that it's hard to say that sufficient protection is guaranteed. Japan doesn't have those type of protections, it seems, or at least not as strong as like the US or other places. Even in the US, as a whistleblower, you can get hit. So I'm glad that she's talking about it. But yeah, it's a really scary thing to be involved in when it comes to any kind of information leaks. Welcome back, everybody, to the VTuber Showcase, the place where I like to showcase up-and-coming VTubers of various sizes, shapes, forms, types, everything in between. The reason why I do this is because I want to keep promoting VTubers, keep pushing VTubers up as much as possible. And today we are talking about Marshall Bohemond. I hope I said it correctly. They are a Marshal of the Crusade, sci-fi streamer, space marine VTuber. Taking a look here, same here as that they said on their Twitch side. I always say Twitter and Twitch. I always get this confused. Sorry about that. Let's take a look at them doing Halo CE, the campaign.
I hate you little shits.
Everyone hates them. Everyone. Use the shotgun blast, boy. Oh boy. Some of them did blow up, so that's good. Oh, but to blow up and have these little guys around there. Oh, that's annoying. But yeah, there they are playing a little bit of Halo CE. Let's take a look at some other things that they do here. They have their some stuff that they mentioned about Warhammer 40k here. They have Dawn of War 4 and the loss of Warhammer 40k's identity. Conversations, topics like that. And of course, they do have some dual streaming going on here for previous things, arc raiders and other things. You'll find it all there, and I will have everything they're at in the description down below, as I always do, so you guys can check it out. And of course, thank you so much, Marshall Bohemond, for allowing me to showcase you on my channel. I hope this helps you in some way. Thank you guys for watching, as always, and of course, take a look, and if you enjoy everything, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, all those things that YouTube asks of you. Really do appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.